I'll say a really quick prayer and then we'll do some recognition and then we'll get going. It's September 9th already, so I can't believe it. Okay. Lord, we just thank you for this day, and I thank you for all the ladies that are on tonight, and thanks for those faces we haven't seen in a while, and where we just always are grateful that anyone can come to this meeting at any time, and everybody's always welcome. And Lord, we do want to lift up Tanya and just everything that's going on for her in her life, and we pray for them to be able to finish everything quickly so that they can get on with their service. And we just pray for your blessing on her and for the service to be glorifying to you. And Lord, we just thank you for Rod and who he was. And I know this is going to be hard for her for a while. And Lord, I do also want to lift up Monty's husband. She's a consultant in our unit who also lost her husband over the weekend, Lord. And I know he had been sick for a long time, but we just do pray for Monty as well. And just guide us tonight as we talk about some more things related to you and to prayer and all the things related to that, Lord. And I just ask that you give me the right words and it just be a blessing to all the ladies that are on. It's in your name we pray. Amen. Yeah, we do. I have a personal use consultant that lost her husband over the weekend too. He had been very sick for a while, so it was not as a shocker as much as Tanya's situation, but I was like, oh my gosh, two people on the same day. So anyway, okay, I am going to do a little bit of recognition. So I got accomplishment sheets from Jody and Laura, and Jody had a $256 week, and Laura had a $420 week, and I've been trying to be accountable to y'all, so I had a $474 week. I did have a facial Saturday, and then I had one facial that totally ghosted me. She was new to me. I didn't know her, but we had confirmed. I had pre-profiled, and she just totally didn't confirm and didn't tell me that she wasn't coming. She just didn't show up. So you never know. It happens sometimes when you don't. I mean, sometimes when people don't know you as well. But I had another facial earlier that day, so I was happy about that. So you never know. I still sold $474, so it's okay. Wrinkles tour. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to try one more time because something could have happened, So I am going to try one more time. But if she's not going to respond, then I'm just going to move on, which I will tell y'all real quickly. You guys don't need to worry about this, but a new law just came out in Texas, and it's only related to Texas, where we can get sued for texting people. And so I have contacted legal. They're looking at it and they're going to get back with this. But the vendor that I use with my project broadcast and everything to send y'all texts, they put a big thing out. They were trying to block all the texts that are going to Texas numbers. They want us to register in the state of Texas as a business, $200 a year if we want to be able to text people from a vendor show. It's really crazy, but it's only in Texas, so all of you guys don't have to worry about it. So I've talked to Jody about it, and I think what I'm gonna have to do if I'm at a vendor show, if they give me their number, which I don't ever just text people that haven't given me their number in some way. But I think I'm gonna have to put something that says you give me authorization to text you, and they're gonna have to initial on the little card if I get their name from a vendor show. It's really crazy, and so I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens with all that. But I'm glad you guys don't have to worry about that because it's only in Texas. So so we're just trying to make sure we're following the rules. We're like, okay, we're just trying to make sure. Okay, I did want to talk about Thursday night real quickly. We are going to do Thursday night. Tanya was supposed to be involved in that, but Margaret is going to take over Tanya's portion. And what Thursday night is, you guys are welcome to get on there even if you don't have guests, but it would be, then you can see all the new products because we're going to showcase all of the new products for fall and holiday. And but it's a great thing to get your guests on because we're giving prizes. We're giving product prizes and we're giving other prizes. So we have earrings and a little blanket and a little s'mores kit thing and a little candle lamp thing. I mean, just fun fall, gifts. So it will just be for 30 minutes from 7:30 to 8 like we normally have done, and it's with Roxy and Margaret. Um, Virginia will have people on there as well, and I'm going to be talking about retinol. Jody's actually doing a little piece of it. Um, some of Roxy's consultants are going to do little pieces of it, but we do it fast. We do it in 30 minutes, 7:30 to 8. And then there is going to be one prize for the consultant that has the most guests on. And there's a Google Doc that you fill out at the end, which I'll post on our Roshan's Bright Stars page. And that just helps Margaret tally. Like if your person buys something, you're going to get, they're going to get points to get into the drawing for one of the prizes at the end. And we're going to give a few product prizes throughout. And if they are on early, because it starts at 7:30, if they get on like 7:20, 7:25, we're going to do an early bird drawing for all the guests that get on by 7:30. So we'll have an early bird drawing for that. That is on Roxy's Zoom. So I'll repost the invitation on our Facebook page, so you'll have the right Zoom number. We are going to stay on for like 10 minutes. I don't know. I need to find out from Roxy what we're doing, because it was supposed to be me and Roxy and Tanya. But last time what we did was she just kind of posed a question and we just kind of answered a couple of questions about Mary Kay, the company. It's 10 minutes long. They get their name in the drawing extra if they're willing to stay on for the extra 10 minutes, but they don't have to. They can get off and just do the product part if that's what they want, or if you want to get on and just see all the new products. So that is this Thursday. So that's why we're not having any guests this evening. But anyway, is there any questions about that? Okay. Those have been lots of fun, and we're just kind of doing them once a quarter when there's new products. I'm not sure. There's going to be some new products in November, and I don't know if we'll try to do one in December or not. December's so busy, but we may try to do one in there. So we'll just see. Okay. Is there anything that anyone wants to share just about, Debbie shared about her getting 2 new customers, but is there anything else anyone wants to share about? Could be about Mary Kay or not Mary Kay, that just something great that's happened this week.
What? It's not really that, but I was just wondering who went out and looked at the 20 finalists from the makeover contest.
Oh, I forgot, Dawn. Did you go look?
I did. I'm glad to see that there's diversity with the
Okay.
ages of the finalists as well as the ethnicity. I do feel like I saw 2 people that didn't follow the look with the colors.
Okay.
And somebody is in there who did the mirror me
Okay.
like look. So I don't know. I'm still mulling it over, but I may want to end up just being able to pass along my own personal comments to the corporate folks, possibly, who were in charge of this contest.
Yeah. I don't know who
Yeah,
actually votes. Yeah. I'll
I'm
go
not.
look.
It's an outside agency that they pick, or
Oh,
use, but
okay. Okay.
it was awesome. I was, that was my huge fun
Yeah.
for the month of August, and
Yeah.
I wasn't disappointed when I saw, you know, the pictures of the 20 finalists. And I guess we all get one vote if we want to help with the final
Yeah.
selection.
I'll definitely go look. I forgot that was yesterday, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
do you look at? What do you
You
look at?
go to, if you go to Mary Kay and Touch and you go to like
If you just go back
where
to the
you
contest
entered.
site.
Yeah, exactly. The contest site where you entered your people, it's there. In the same exact place. And then that's where you can vote too. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I forgot about that. I should have looked because I have people in it. I should
No,
have.
I had a lot,
You
and
had
I
a
was
lot in there. Yeah.
praying. Since I had 13 and it's Mary Kay's lucky number or favorite
Mhm.
number, I'm like, perhaps,
Yeah.
but
That's
it's
That would
okay.
be
yeah.
freaking awesome.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna, if there's, is there anything else anyone wants to share before I share Jody's product knowledge? Okay, you guys tell me if you can't hear this. Um,
And I am doing your product knowledge. Something came up. Actually, I have a facial that couldn't get her scheduled any other time. So I didn't want to transfer this product knowledge to anybody else or make Angela have to find somebody else. So I'm recording it. So I'm going to be there with y'all in spirit. I hope y'all have a great evening and a great meeting. So here is what I'm doing. I'm doing waterproof eyeliner and waterproof lip liner. So the waterproof eyeliner, now I didn't know this, but it actually has rosehip seed oil for a moisturizing effect. It's smooth on glide. It has a smooth glide and a creamy texture. So you are also able to kind of get precision lines, but you can also blend it to a soft, smoky effect. So, and of course, it dries pretty fast. It's not like super fast. So if you draw it on, and then if you want to fade it out, you can do that. And you can do that. I would do that with the eye smudge brush, or you could do it with just any of your Mary Kay brushes. So, of course, black is always our staple, and we will probably always have black. We do have the colors black, brown, steely, and blue. So here's some of the formula attributes that the product knowledge sheet says, and it says it resists smudging and smearing and flaking all day. So after it's dried, it's going to be smudge proof, smear proof, and flake proof. Also, it's transfer resistant, so it's not going to transfer to your upper eyelid. And it contains softening agents designed to enhance the glide, which is the rosehip oil, which I didn't know it had rosehip seed oil. It's suitable for sensitive eyes and contact lens wearers. It is dermatologist and ophthalmologist tested, and it also was that comedogenic something, whatever, which just basically means that it is not, that it doesn't clog the pores. It will stay on through tears, and it'll stay on all day. It's also fade resistant. So really, really a nice product. It does stay. It really stays. I don't know if you remember seeing the picture of me dressed up as a sugar skull and as a scarecrow. I actually had the waterproof liner on, and it is waterproof. It didn't move. So the lip liner, y'all, we have 9 shades in the lip liner, and I can't remember if that is, I don't think any of those are being discontinued, but if it is, it is. But 9 shades. We have red, pink nude, hot pink, beige nude, rose, mauve nude, berry, auburn, and truffle nude. So again, these are waterproof. They're fade and transfer resistant. They have vitamin E and hyaluronic acid in them for nourishing and conditioning effects. So the vitamin E is going to be great in moisturizing. Y'all, that hyaluronic acid is actually, it gives a plumping effect. So that could actually help with like those fine lines on the lip and stuff to actually fill those in. It is retractable. It does have a built-in sharpener in the cap. It is waterproof. Again, it is fade resistant. It's smooth glide, and it's a creamy texture. Whenever you line your lips, the easiest way I have found to make sure that your lips are lined straight and even is to start in the middle. So you'll start in the middle and work your way out. And you don't ever want to take that lip liner all the way to the corners of your mouth, because that will just make you look like a clown. So you're going to stop about 3/4 of the way. At least that's what I do. Also, you do want to fill your lip in. Now, you can fill your lip in with another color of the lip liner, but you want the lip to be filled in so that the lipstick stays on, because the lipstick is going to adhere to the waterproof lip liner, so it's going to give you a longer wear on your lipstick as well. All right, girls, and your lip glosses. So you can also, I actually will do just a lip liner with a clear gloss on it, just for an easy look for all day, and it's just, it just is easy. It doesn't transfer off to my cups and stuff like that, because I have just like the clear gloss. So, all right. I hope y'all have a great day, and I hope this is informational for you. Again, remember, we have rosehip seed oil in our eyeliners, and we have vitamin E and hyaluronic acid in our lip liners. So, y'all have a great day.
Yay, that was helpful, wasn't it? We hadn't done that in a long time. We've been mainly doing skincare, it seems like. So I don't know, maybe not. I can't always remember what we've done. But thank you, Jody. That was helpful. Okay, so I do want to tell y'all, I don't want this, I'm afraid it's going to take too much time. So I want to get into our head stuff, but I want us at 6:40. I'm going to try to finish this in 20 minutes because I did get a video from the company yesterday. And they're going to make some new changes to some other things, not products. But I want y'all to just kind of be aware of it. They're giving us a heads up because this is change that's going to happen towards the end of this year. So I wanted to just go ahead and kind of tell you about it. There's still things we don't know, but I do want to tell y'all about that. But I don't want it to take up the whole rest of the meeting on that because there's still so much stuff I don't know. So I want to do our head stuff and then we'll get to that. I'm going to watch my time. So, okay, so you guys know last month we kind of started doing this visioneering. Have you ever read this book, Terry? Okay, so this is Visioneering by Andy Stanley. And so we kind of started last month on this. And let me share the screen here. So at the end of last month, which I also put this on our Facebook page, we ended the number one, Visioneering Your Life #1, with looking at there could be multiple visions for our life. Some are clearer than others, and these were just some different ideas of probably things that you might have a vision for. Your career, your finances, your spouse, your children, your ministry, any other area. And so depending on where you feel like you have a vision you're wanting to go for, you wrote a 1-sentence summary of how you believe life ought to be in that area. And then we talked about visions are often born in the soul of a man or woman who's gripped by a tension between what is and what should be. And so we were trying to kind of explore, did we have a particular tension? And if so, take a minute to describe that dilemma. Is there something that's bothering you? What is the solution? What should it be? And then have any of your burdens begin to feel like a moral imperative, which he says in there that oftentimes it's something that God has given us, and it is a big deal. Like if we ignore this, like it's tantamount to an act of disobedience if this is what we're supposed to be doing. And then he asked, did we see any connection between various visions of what God is up to in this world? So I don't know, that's kind of deep. That's interesting. I don't know if any of y'all did that watched the last time. But I did take some time to go kind of through it because I feel like I have such a task-oriented person, and I do this on Mondays and I do this on Tuesdays and I do this on Wednesdays, and I do have goals and but am I really looking at what I want life to be like in my career? And finances and all of those things, and what am I looking at for the next several years or whatever. So I did kind of look at that, and I thought about attention for me. And this is not something I train on a whole lot, but I am going to train on it on the 5th Tuesday of every month, and it is really important to me. I'm just going to share with y'all a little bit. It is really important to me that if women are in Mary Kay, they're actually making a profit. And I feel like in my 26 years of doing Mary Kay, what I've seen a lot of people do is just not manage their money well. And so they have no idea if they're making money. And so then a lot of times they quit. And so that has been an area for me that I'm passionate about, but it's hard to talk to people about it because I'm not trying to get into your money situation, you know? And I've had times in my Mary Kay director life that I started training on money at a meeting and a girl walked out. I've had, because she didn't want to hear what I had to say, because money is hard. It's hard for people. And she wasn't mad at me. She was just feeling bad about how she managed money, and she just didn't want to hear it. And then I've had a girl that was my personal team member that every time I sat down and talked to her about how to do her money, she just would freak out. And she quit the first time, and then she kind of came back around, and then I talked to her about money again, and she just wasn't willing to do it, and she quit. And I'm like, well, that is that because money is a hard thing. Money is a hard thing. And so, but it is a passion for me that as a director, that's what I want for people. I want their business to be joyful for them in whatever way they want. But if they want to make money, I want to show them how to do it. But sometimes it means you have to change your habits, which some people don't want to. And I get it. I mean, it's up to you, but that is a big thing for me. And so, I feel like in 26 years, I've had ebbs and flows and different things that's happened. But, it's funny. I went to get my eyes checked this week, and the girl asked me what I did for a living. And I told her I was a Mary Kay sales director. And she said, "How long have you done that?" And I said, 26 years. And she's like, "I've never heard of anyone that's done Mary Kay for 26 years. And I said, "The main thing is you don't quit." I'm like, that's what it is. I said, most people just quit because there's ebbs and flows in our business. And I said, if you stick around long enough, it all and keep working, there's some years that are going to be better than other years. But anyway, all that to say, I thought I would just share a little with you. That's like a tension for me that I want to help people. But for some, and it's also from a perspective of customers, I definitely want them to feel joyful and happy with their products and make them feel better about themselves and all of that. So that is important to me as a consultant. So today we're going to go to the second part of the Visioneering your life. And I just want to share a little bit about what he talks about in here. And I brought it up last time, but he talks about the book of Nehemiah a lot, which in the Bible study I'm doing now, we are going to do Nehemiah this year, but it's not till the spring when we get there. And I was like, I may have to go read it again. But Nehemiah is the one that built the wall after the Israelites had been thrown out, and then they're coming back from exile. After all those bad kings and everything, then they're coming back. So Nehemiah is rebuilding. And so this whole chapter is about praying and planning. And so he says, there are weeks and months and possibly years when circumstances don't permit you to be proactive. That season when you are not free to take action on whatever your vision is. Your present job maybe it's your present job that doesn't allow you to have the flexibility to pursue it. Or maybe there's some family responsibilities that are, taking away from your time to do it. It could be lots of things. And I think this does happen with people in Mary Kay. And so I think if you're in this time and you really want Mary Kay to be there for you, you just don't quit, and that's sometimes I think what happens. But he said, visions often die during this stretch of inactivity. So you have like this big vision, but then you have all this inactive time, and maybe you have distractions with other things. And maybe that's okay. I mean, maybe this is the time that you're just supposed to be like right here at this time. So anyway, he said, after a prolonged period of waiting, a vision can slip into the realm of what won't ever be because we think it won't happen. So he talks about Nehemiah, and he said Nehemiah had that time frame where there was inaction and he didn't really know what to do. So what he did during that time is he prayed and he planned. And he used this time to prepare for the day when God would release him to pursue his vision. He didn't allow the downtime to discourage or distract him, which I think happens to us sometimes. Sometimes it's just in 1 week or 2 weeks and we get distracted or discouraged. And so then we think, well, I'm not going to be able to hit that. But if it's truly your vision, you can. So he says that prayer is critical to vision development, which I also brought up last time. This book, Fervent, which I think Jody's listening to this book, but this is all about prayer because the Visioneering book keeps bringing up prayer. And so it's been making me think of this book, which is also really great on prayer. But he says we often miss what we don't expect to see, but prayer keeps us looking for it. And praying almost ensures we won't miss opportunities God brings our way. And he said sometimes our tendency is to pray for miracles, like something big, but in most situations, it's more appropriate to pray for opportunities. And I thought that was interesting, as it made me kind of think too, even about sharing the opportunity with people. What I need to be praying for is give me 10 recruits, I need to be praying for opportunities for the right people to be in front of me and for me to share that with them, instead of me saying, I need 10 recruits, God. I need, no, what I need is for him to give me the opportunities to talk to the people and for me to be willing to do it when I'm in front of them, right? Um, and then he also said that there's a difference between a dreamer and a visionary person. So a dreamer dreams about things being different. Visionaries envision themselves making a difference, which is going to cause something to happen for them. So which I thought was an interesting thought. And he said, focus your prayers on what you know needs to happen in order to get your vision off the launching pad. And then the second part, so he prayed, and the second part was he planned. It says, go ahead and develop a plan. Assuming you had all the resources, what would you do? If you had all the time you needed, what would you do first, second, third? If you had the money you needed, what would you do first, second, third? Plan as if you knew someone were going to come along and give you an opportunity to pursue exactly what it is you want. And this could be in Mary Kay, or it could be another vision you have for your life. It might not even be Mary Kay, but sometimes when we practice this in Mary Kay, it helps us, reach our other visions. And he says, in many instances, opportunity apart from preparation results in a missed opportunity. If we haven't really planned and thought through what we're doing. He said, most visions appear futile in the early stages. And he was talking about, President Kennedy was talking about putting a man on the moon before the technology to do so even existed. And vision usually precedes just about everything necessary to bring it into the sphere of reality. Because he says, I say just about everything because there's usually at least one thing the visionary can do, and that's to plan. So I think that it's real interesting. So that's our building block number 3. Pray for opportunities and plan as if you expect God to answer your prayers. New visions die easily, and understandably so. There's little to go on. There is little to go on. Planning and praying will help you keep your vision alive, and that is critical. When your vision dies, part of you dies as well. So pray for opportunities, pray for the people who could help you launch your vision, and while you wait, plan. Develop a strategy and dream on paper. Find the 1 or 2 things you can do to get busy. So then it gave us another opportunity for some thought work, and so I'm going to post this on our Motions Bright Stars. It's a PDF, so it'll be under the files on our Motions Bright Stars page. But these are the things that it asks, and it says you could do this. I was talking about there's different areas of your life that you may have a vision for. It may not just be your business. It may be something else in your personal life or whatever. So this says work through these answers for each vision you have. So what opportunities do you need to begin praying for? And who are the people who could help you accomplish your vision? What changes would need to take place in their thinking in order for them to support your effort, which I thought was interesting, because I always think I might need to be thinking different myself, and then write a simple plan. What are the things that you can do? So if I was to bring this through Mary Kay, so I'm just using this as an example so we can think through an example of this. So if I want to build our unit to 350,000, what opportunities do I need to pray for if that's where I want this vision to go for this year? So I think, like I said earlier, I need to pray for opportunities to meet new people, and hopefully in the state of Texas, so I can contact them. I need to pray for opportunities to talk to the right people that may really need this opportunity, and for God to put me in front of those people. And then who are the people who can help accomplish your vision? Well, I thought about that today because I thought, well, really, my vision of the $350,000 unit is really all of us. That's not something I can do by myself. That's all of us together. So for that, I would need to help other people reach their goals, right? So if you reach your goals and I reach my goals, then together, then we build something bigger. Whatever those goals that are for you. And I couldn't really think. I really thought on what changes would need to take place in their thinking in order for them to support your effort. I thought, well, it's partly me. I mean, it's partly I have to do thinking and getting the right people on board, but it would also mean that you guys would need to believe in yourself and whatever it is your vision is for your business. And, so that would be something I could pray for you guys as well, that because I'm not going to determine what your vision is or what your goal is in Mary Kay or how you want to support the effort. But I could definitely pray for your vision to come to pass, whatever that is. And then I think a simple plan is just in how I engage with either new business people or even my current customers. Like I need to have a plan that I have some kind of focus. I'm really good at just offering the opportunity, offering the product and selling it, but do I take advantage of talking to them about the opportunity more? So I think that's a plan I need to have in place. And how am I going to do that? And we've been talking about the layering sheet and all that. So are there different things like that that I'm going to utilize to just share the opportunity more? Because maybe someone just doesn't know they're interested and I haven't asked them. So, but this could be for anything in your life. I'm just doing that to kind of give you a general, like, how would you walk through this? And then, let me share one other thing and then I want y'all's thoughts. But so again, since he was talking about prayer, it made me go back to this book. This is a really good book on prayer. And so I've read it before, but I kind of re-looked at this. The very first chapter was just kind of a intro, but then it goes right into your first strategy of prayer, and it's about passion. And I thought that's interesting because we tend to lose passion in what we're excited about. Sometimes we're first excited in Mary Kay and then we kind of lose our passion, or it could be a job that you're doing, or sometimes we get all passionate about exercise and then we lose that. So I've been really passionate about tracking my macros, since I have tracked my macros every day since the end of February. So that has made a huge difference. It's been slow and steady for me, but I have been passionate about it because I thought this is the only way this is going to work for me. And so I don't think I saw real change, in the first couple of months, but as I've kept doing it, then I've seen more change. And so then that's more, that helps me. So I am passionate about that. So, but she says in this book, if I were the enemy, I'd seek to dim your passion, dull your interest in spiritual things, dampen your belief in God's ability and his personal concern for you, and convince you that the hope you've lost is never coming back and was probably just a lie to begin with. Ooh, that's really strong. Saying that the devil is after you like that. So, but as women, we do that a lot. Like, we feel bad about ourselves. We're like, we lose our passion. We think, well, nobody really cares about me. God doesn't even really love me. And women do that a lot. And so we know that's not true. We know that those things are false, but we have a tendency to fall victim to that. And then she also says, to make prayer, to pray to recover and maintain your passion and to regain and sustain your cutting edge, which I've heard Dr. Baxter say that before, to pray to sustain your cutting edge. And I thought that was an interesting thing because I've had that in my prayers before. So, but she says in here to literally make prayer a priority every day and sit down and literally write out what you're praying about and go back to it. And I've been trying to do that because, you see people everywhere and you're like, they tell you something's happened and you're like, okay, I'm going to be praying for you. Oh yeah, I'll be praying for you. Like, you have a tendency to do that. And then you have other things happen that day. And then you're like, did I actually pray for that person? I said I was going to pray for that person. So I've kind of been keeping this little notebook of, people that I've said that to that day or people that need prayer, and writing it down and then going back to it. And I may not pray for that person every single day, but I have a list and I kind of go through it. So I try to hit all those, there was a guy that I know from my church and he wrote down everything anyone ever said to him. And he would come up to me like months later, over something I'd asked for prayer about. And he'd say, "How is that going? How is your friend, the one that has breast cancer? Wasn't her name Laura?" Like he would remember because he wrote it down and he did not stop praying for it until, I said, "You could move on. I have a new one," or something. But like, it was so powerful. I'm like, to know that he was praying for me all those months, or praying for my friend, or praying just because I mentioned it. So that's a pretty big deal. And prayer is pretty powerful. So she says in here, a prayer that's seeking passion should not be about manufacturing a better feeling or jostling up a better mood. It's simply about holding out your open hands in thanksgiving first, in gratitude for God's faithfulness and his goodness and his assured accomplished victory over the enemy. So this book is quite good on prayer. And so it keeps bringing me to that when I'm reading Visioneering, because he's talking about prayer quite a bit already. And, we kind of talked about this book a while back. I think Terry read this book, but it says in here too that, you should come up with like a one-liner about whatever your vision is, like something that you say to people when they ask, "Well, how are you doing?" or "What are you doing?" or "How's your business going?" And you have a one-liner, or whatever is important in your life, whatever you're passionate about, that you can just say, "Yeah, this is what I'm doing," and kind of just give that one-liner of what is important to you in that, which that helps it solidify in your brain, that that's your vision and that's what's important. So we're going to keep talking about this because I'm going to keep reading this book. And if you want a good book to read or listen to, I think, and Laura went through this whole book. Terry, do you remember when you came here and we had the career conference at that church? And I think Deb was with you. She said that JC that day mentioned this book that day when we had that. And I didn't recall that. And so Laura read it right after that. So anyway, it's a really good book if you want one to listen to or read. And so is this Fervent is also really good. So anyway, any thoughts or anything before I talk about product? I'm going to switch gears and talk about company changes, but any thoughts on any of that? Or is that helpful to you as you're kind of thinking about your vision for your life? Any comments?
I'll tell you that you're right about praying. And recently I've been thinking I need to write down all those people that I tell that I'm going to pray for. And I wrote a few down while you were, talking and stuff. And because at church every Sunday they have people that they're praying for, and sometimes you can find out, and sometimes people are closer to you than people that you don't know, that maybe you're not going to church, but they're part of the church or belong to the church and stuff. But the other thing is, I, for a long time now, I have prayed that God help me find the people that need my help that can help me, so that we can do it back and forth and find something. And um, I I have a son that's not sure about God, and he says, "Well, Mom, you're gullible." Well, maybe I am gullible, or I used to be more so than I am now as I got older. But I've had too many instances, and I, I don't talk to him about it, and I think I better write that down. That I need to talk to him every now and then, and I need to remind my grandkids while I'm there about God, because we talk about all kinds of things, and I'm gonna say something about that when I get there, and then I get home and I'm like, I didn't say anything. But I think writing it down is the key. That kind of puts you in a focus.
Sometimes it's hardest to talk to family, honestly. Sometimes that's the case for sure. Any other thoughts or anybody has or comments? Well, I hope it was kind of helpful and made you think. And I'll put that Visioneering #2 in our files in case you want to really take a little time and look at that. Or you could even just get the book. But we'll keep talking about this a little bit every month. The stuff that the company's doing that I just wanted to tell you about. And when we were at seminar, they were talking about e-commerce a little bit. And Dawn will kind of remember of them talking about e-commerce. And the main thing they talked about in relation to e-commerce is just that Mary Kay's model was not going to change, that, all the products are being sold from consultants, that people aren't going to just be able to call Mary Kay and get products. And because there's a lot of direct selling companies that are changing their models and changing the way they do their pay structure and all of the things. And so they assured us, that they're staying the same in that. But they are getting ready to make some changes. And I don't understand all of this stuff, but I just want you to be aware of it. So by the end of the year, we're going to have new personal websites. And they're not even going to be called personal websites. They're going to be called, crud. I had my notes in the other room. I think they're going to be called like your store or something like that. Like, it's not going to be called like a website, but that's really what it is. And ProPay is going away by the end of the year. So even if you've got brand new people coming on, they can still use ProPay. ProPay is still free. Our websites are still free for the first year and all of that. But they're switching to a different vendor because, and it was something I'd never heard of before, but it's also going to allow customers to pay with Apple Pay and Google Pay on our new store site. And you're also going to be able to upload like up to 6 pictures on your store and put a little bit more of your iStory out there. And then they've already rolled this out to some other countries and tested it. But the thing that's going to happen is, how now whenever we charge ProPay, then it kind of sits in our ProPay account, and then we can choose whether we want to use that to pay for orders or whether we want to transfer it to, our checking account or whatever we want to do. That's not going to happen anymore. With this new vendor, as soon as you get paid, it goes directly to your checking account. So there's not going to be like money sitting in the thing. So then that brings up the question, so like Cheryl has a new girl, and we were talking about it the other day, like when you first start as a consultant, sometimes you want to do some web orders to make some money, but you can't do that as a brand new consultant because you have to be active first before you can take any website orders where you can mail them CDS or whatever. I mean, you can take website orders, but you can't mail them CDS if you're not active. So what they're going to do is, with this new system, like a new consultant could already have orders that are coming through on their website. But what's going to happen if they're not active is they're just not going to make 50% on that. They're going to only make 30%. So they're going to make less, but it's going to allow them to have website orders. It's also going to allow them to order, if they order less, like in their inactive month or something, they're just not going to get it at 50% off. They're going to get it at 30% off. So I'm not sure how all that works. The other thing that's going to happen is you're not going to have any control over whether you deliver that product or whether it gets sent from the company. If they order off that website, it's automatically sent from the company within and they're going to get it within 2 days. So, I have some people that order off my website that live in town that I'm going to have to just check with them and see, are you cool if that all just gets mailed to you? Or, if they really want me to deliver it, then they just are going to have to text me their order. So I'm not sure how all that is going to work in the whole 30% thing, but I just wanted y'all to be aware of it. So if you're recruiting new people now, there's no problem since they're not having to pay for ProPay. It's fine for them to use ProPay now. It's fine for us to continue to use ProPay because we now have to have a way to do that on our current websites. But it's going to roll out. They did not give me an exact date, but it's going to roll out. They want it rolled out by the end of December. So just some changes to be thinking about, and it's going to be a little bit different in how we do website orders, and no more ProPay, and then that money just goes directly into our accounts. But it also allows them to pay with, Apple Pay and Google Pay, which I don't know. I don't pay that way, but there can be people that do. And so I think what Mary Kay's trying to do is make it easier for someone to get product. And they're also going to make the search engine better. So like, say you have a customer that they couldn't exactly remember your website, but they need to search for you, or they need to find it. It's going to be easier to search for you. And it's going to be so to find their consultant. And it's also going to be easier to just find a consultant in their search engine. And because still no products, every product will be tied to a consultant. So if it's somebody that's just going out there trying to find a Mary Kay, just order Mary Kay, they might find you and it might count for you. Everything's going to count for you if they order off your website. But and I don't know, now if someone does a guest checkout, you don't get their information. I don't know anything about that yet. They haven't explained all that, but it's just different. So nothing yet. I mean, it's going to be a few months, but just wanted to, I didn't know anything about it until yesterday. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. So you're just kind of aware that there's going to be changes to your website. And they'll give us plenty of notice on it, and we'll have to update it and all that stuff. Because like I said, you can put 6 pictures out there of yourself or your family or whatever you want to do. So it's a little bit more customizable that way. So I don't know. What do y'all think about all that? So they're trying to make it easier. I can imagine that sometimes if a consultant isn't active yet and they've got orders, I mean, I think they're trying to make it faster and easier. And that's the other reason why they're taking, like, nobody can have products sent to a PO box now, which I looked yesterday, and we have a couple of consultants that have PO boxes, stuff being sent to PO boxes. So I'm going to look at that a little closer and make sure. If it's one of y'all's, I'll let you know. But I'm going to contact the consultant and tell them they're going to have to put their some physical address for FedEx to send to. So, okay. Any questions on anything? Thoughts?
I do. When they order off a website and it's being mailed to them, you normally don't actually make 50% because it costs to mail to them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So if they're making 30%, it's still going to cost them to mail to them, right?
Yeah. And I
Okay.
don't know, they didn't say that's a good point. And they didn't say anything about shipping costs or anything, if
Yeah.
that's going to be any different than what they have now with CDS. They didn't say anything about that, but that's a very good point. That's true. So that's the other thing, I have some consultants that are like, I just want everybody to order that way, and I just mail it because it's easy. I don't have to do that much work, but that it does cost more,
More,
to
yeah.
do the shipping.
Yeah.
So,
But if you have them in a different state or something, that's probably better.
and I've got customers in different states and different cities, and sometimes I mail it to them myself, and sometimes I CDS it. It depends on what I have going on and if I have the products on hand, all that kind of stuff. But if I know I'm going to be really busy and I can't get it together, I would rather just get it out, so I'll do the CDS. And so you can kind of pick what you want to do there. But it sounds like the new system is you're not going to get to pick. If they order off your website, it gets sent to them.
Okay. Well,
So-
I have a friend of mine that goes on the website and puts all the numbers in, and then she sends me the picture of that.
I have someone that does that too.
Yeah, this is what that way I don't have to go through the whole process and everything. Anyway, so that's about the only person I have do that too. I mean, that even orders on my website. I still haven't gotten people. Well, a lot of my people are older people like me, and that a lot of times they don't know how to do anything with that kind of stuff. So they just call me anyway. And I like talking to them because then I got to have suggestions or ask them questions or something, or make another, like I used to go around when I deliver, I would just take a bunch of samples and stuff too, and to see if there was anything else they wanted. And I usually upselled when I was gone, or, that was over that. So
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what we're used to. And I think the companies also, how they're trying to get more younger generational people. I think they're trying to be able to. Okay. Thanks for being on, Cheryl. So, anyway, I think that they are trying to get younger people too, which some younger people, like I know my son, he doesn't like to talk to people. He would likes to do everything online. And I'm like, well, you might need to go in and talk to that person. And he's like, I have to talk to them. Can't I just do this online? So, that's kind of like a 22-year-old. So anyway, all right. Any other thoughts? Anything else? Terry, you're doing good with your back? Okay. We'll keep you on that prayer list. For sure. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. And next week is a Mary Kay practical training week. I'm not sure yet what we're gonna do. But anyway, thank you guys for being on. It's always good to see you guys that we don't see every week. We missed people that are usually here, but it's fun that we just always have a group. So, and thanks for being on, Dawn, even on vacation. I'll go check out those makeover contests, people.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, y'all have a good rest of your evening, and then I will post the Google Doc too for Thursday if you're going to be on, or and even if you don't have customers on, if you're like, I just want to get on and look and see what the new products are, you can do that too. But if it's kind of exciting for customers because if they win, and Kathy Mullins gets their prizes out like the next morning, so
Oh, wow.
that's always fun and exciting. So anyway, it'll be fun. So I hope to see some of y'all there for sure. Okay, you guys have a very good evening.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Angela.
Thank
Great
you.
to see you, Terry.
Mhm.
Good seeing you
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Angela, I need to know